setting up your environment is to create a cluster. Navigate to Compute in the left sidebar. From here, we can create and manage our clusters. Remember, a cluster is a set of nodes or computers working together like a single entity. It consists of a master node called the driver and some other worker nodes. The driver node is responsible for coordinating the workers and their parallel execution of tasks. Now, under All-Purpose Compute, click Create Compute. On top, click on the default name in order to change it. Name your cluster as Demo Cluster, for example. Leave the policy unrestricted to create fully configurable cluster. Your cluster could be multi-node, that is, having multiple workers, or simply a single node. A single node cluster has no workers and runs Spark jobs on the driver node. For this course, a single node is enough. However, let us continue to see how to configure a multi-node cluster. For the access mode, you can allow your cluster to be shared by multiple users. However, only SQL and Python workloads will be supported. Instead, choose single user if you are the only one to use this cluster. Next, you need to select the DataBricks runtime version. DataBricks runtime is the virtual machine image that comes with pre-installed libraries, which has a specific version of Spark, Scala, and other libraries. Let us choose 11.3 LTS, which is the latest version at the time of recording this course. In addition, you can choose to activate Photon, which is a vectorized query engine developed in C++ to enhance Spark performance. Now you can go ahead and select the configuration of your worker node. These are different virtual machine sizes provided by your cloud provider, in this case Azure. Depending on your requirements of memory, cores, and hard disk, you can select the configuration. Let us give the default one. Then you can select the number of workers you need for your cluster. If you choose to enable autoscaling, then provide a range for the number of workers. These allow DataBricks to resize your cluster automatically within this range. Otherwise, disable autoscaling and just a fixed number of workers. Let me select 3 here. After selecting the worker node configuration, you can now select the configuration for the driver node, or simply keep it the same as the worker. Next, you can enable auto-termination of the cluster by providing the number of minutes. Let us say 30 minutes. That is, if there is no activity for 30 minutes, the cluster will auto-terminate. On the right, you can see a summary of your cluster configuration. Here, you can see the number of DBUs. DBU stands for DataBricks units, and it is a unit of a processing capability per hour. Each configuration tells you how much DBUs would be consumed a virtual machine run for an hour, and then pay for each DBU consumed. For example, if we have less number of workers or even a single node cluster, we will have less DBUs. Let us confirm this. Select single node cluster and click confirm. Now with single node cluster, we are going to consume less DBUs. Now we can hit the create button to finish creating our cluster. Azure will now go ahead and provision the required virtual machine with a specific configuration and libraries as specified by DataBricks runtime. Great, our cluster now is up and running. To access your cluster at any time, you can simply navigate to Compute in the left sidebar. You can see your clusters are listed here with its current status, running or terminated. From here, you can quickly terminate or start your cluster, in addition to deleting the cluster and editing its permissions. You can even edit the cluster by clicking on its name, then click Edit. Remember, changing the cluster configuration may require a restart of the cluster. Let us cancel these. Here in the cluster page, you can notice two things. The event log that shows all the events that have happened with the cluster. For example, when the cluster was created or terminated. This helps to track the activity on a cluster. And in the driver log, you will get the log generated within the cluster, notebooks, and libraries. Great. Let us now terminate our cluster and see you in the next video.